Thanks for joining us on the Football Coaches Show again this week. I'm Nathan Walls with Surrey on the Go. This week we'll have Coach Jackson Smith from North Surrey High School. So, Coach Jackson Smith, congrats on the win this past Friday night.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was big for the kids. It was big for the staff. Right here in the conference schedule portion of the season, wins like this matter immensely. And one of our season goals is competing for conference championships. And so this is a stepping stone in that right direction.
So Wilkes Central's a pretty good team. You guys were able to put some points on the board in the third and fourth quarters. You guys had struggled to do that in the previous two games. Did you guys feel like that in itself was a big victory?
Yeah, I mean, something that we identified last week as we ended the non-conference portion of our schedule is that, we felt like we, at the moment, we're not a 48-minute football team, that we had evidence and moments and quarters and drives of really good football, but we weren't putting it together for four quarters. And that falls on the responsibility of the head coach, and and that's on me, not instilling and making sure that our kids are willing to do what it takes for the entirety of the football game. So we sat down as a staff and we came up with ways that we could better replicate and exemplify that throughout the week. And I was really pleased with our week of preparation. I was really pleased with how we designed our practice schedule to try to replicate our weaknesses. And one of those weaknesses was scoring in the second half and allowing a lot of points in the second half. And at the end of the day, the kids bought into that mentality and that process and that theory of having something to prove in regards to that. We feel like we're a good football team. We just hadn't shown it over the course of four quarters yet. And so we tried to make that an emphasis this week, and they responded really well on Friday night.
You guys won the game 47-21. I think you had a 21-0 halftime lead. Pretty dominant game for you guys. You want to provide a game summary and provide any shout outs of praise to any of the players or any units on the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy how football, faith, however you want to view it, how it works. We thought that against West Stokes, we had a 2-touchdown lead going into the last play of the game, or last play of the half, excuse me, and we give up a touchdown and they cut it to 7. And we felt like that's when it kind of snowballed and avalanched into the rest of the game. And once again, that falls on my shoulders. And so it's kind of crazy how it works. We're sitting there, the last play of that first half against Wilkes Central, and it's the exact same scenario. It was actually 4th and goal, and they could have cut it to a 2-touchdown lead, and we had a goal line stand. And that was big for our program. That was big for my kids to kind of get some physical evidence of the hard work we've been putting in and kind of see the benefits of overemphasizing playing each down and finishing drives, quarters, reps, whatever you may look at it as. So I thought that was a big growth moment for us, and we took that momentum going into halftime and we kind of ran away with it. And we got beat on some stuff that we got to clean up. I mean, that's what's so great about a win like this, is we felt like we played a solid game, but we turn on the tape on Saturday and there's a lot of room for growth. We still have a couple of miscues defensively on the back end specifically. When we need to close out games and not give up big plays, that's something that we're going to work towards this week. But overall, I thought defensively we played probably one of the better football games we've played this year, with 5 4th-down stops and forcing them to punt and getting a couple turnovers here and there too. That's a big swing for us. Offensively, I thought that we were really consistent. We talked about last week wanting to really establish with the run game. Anytime you play a 3-4 defense and you have those apex outside linebackers, oftentimes they're very versatile kids, and Wilkes Central has 2 really good ones. And so what we wanted to do was try to establish the run game and get those guys kind of tight in the box. And then that's going to help open up windows for us on the perimeter and on the top end when we do need to throw the football. And so we put a lot of weight on Jake Simmons and the offensive line's shoulders, and they handled it really well. We ended up running for north of 250 yards as a team. Jake ran for 235 individually, 5 touchdowns. And that doesn't happen without the guys in front of them too. And like I said, when it was time to take shots, we still had 2 passing touchdowns on the night as well. And we gave our receivers chances to make plays in some one-on-one situations that we felt like we created with our run game. So that was really big for us. Kind of like what we already mentioned, gaining some confidence in scoring in the second half. Because prior to this, we had only had 1 second half touchdown entering conference play, and so that was an emphasis for our offensive unit the entire week. And then we have a 28-point second half. That was really big for us, and we're just going to try to carry that momentum into this week against Forbush.
So let's talk about this upcoming game against Forbush. Expectations. First off, where are you guys playing at?
So we're at Forbush.
You're at Forbush? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the North Surrey fans, Coach Smith and I are calling you out, telling you, come on down to East Bend, travel to Forbush, check them out. That's where I went to high school. But I work in Surrey County now. So, but anyway, tell us about this upcoming game with Forbush, what you expect.
No, I mean, I think they have a lot of really good pieces. They're well coached. They're very sound in what they do. I really like a lot of their skill guys. I think number 9 for them is a big play threat, offensively and defensively. He plays safety and plays some wildcat quarterback and plays in the slot and stuff like that. And I really like their quarterback. He plays with a lot of moxie, a lot of like Brett Favre type. He's going to put that thing wherever he thinks he can fit it, and he's got some wheels too. So we got to be sound, and we got to make sure that on the back end we're a lot better this week, because if not, they're going to take some shots. And I think overall as a team, it's going to be a tough out, especially on the road. I know that they have a great tradition at Forbush High School, and they're going to pack out that stadium, and so we need to improve on the road as a team. Right now, defensively, we've given up a lot of points on the road, so that's going to be an emphasis for us this week. Is trying to make sure that we play our best, although we're not in Charles Atkins Stadium. So we feel like we're going to try to build off the things that we had against Wilkes Central, and maybe add a couple wrinkles here and there, and go out and compete for 48 minutes.
So you guys heard it from Coach Smith, another big conference game coming up at Forbush. And Coach Smith, last question, all your remaining games are conference games, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they're all important on trying to get into the playoffs.
They are. And, the message that we tried to echo into the locker room and on the practice field this past week is 0-0. We felt like we played a really competitive non-conference schedule. We wanted the kids to really kind of view it as preparation for this conference schedule. And so what we tried to relay to the kids is that we are 0-0. And that was kind of the message going into the Wilkes Central game, and that's not going to change. This week we are 0-0. And, when you have goals of competing for conference championships, that's the way you got to view it. You can't look past anybody in our conference. Everyone has pieces and a lot of talent and great coaching staff. So, you have to take it one game, one rep, one quarter at a time, however you want to break it down, to try to keep it as minimal as possible for your kids. So, I mean, that's going to be what we try to do, is just go 1-0 this week. And next week it's 0-0 again. So, this is a very competitive conference with, like I said, a lot of great pieces. So you got to bring your best every Friday.
Coach Smith, thank you for your time. Anything else you want to add?
No, I like what you said. Need all the Greyhounds we can in East Bend, and see what we can do. But that's all I got. Go Hounds.
Now we'll discuss the other 4 public high schools in Surrey County that play football. There's no game more important than what's being played in Mount Airy on Friday night. Mount Airy hosts Starmount. This will probably be their toughest opponent of the regular season. It's a hot ticket. If you can get a chance to go to that game, you need to. As a reminder, Mount Airy beat North Stokes last week 64-0. They're number one in the state. They've only given up 7 points all season. Starmount is 5-0 and ranked 11th in the state. They just put a beat down on Allegheny last week. So this could be a pretty good game. So you might want to go check that out in Mount Airy Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Elkin had a tough loss this past Friday to South Stokes, 19-16. Elkin could be 3-1 right now. Instead, they're 1-3. They've had 2 close losses to South Stokes and to West Wilkes. Surrey Central beat North Wilkes last Friday and improved to 2-3. This week, they have a bye week. East Surrey had a bye week this past Friday. They're now 2-2. They host 2-3 West Wilkes in Pilot Mountain. East Surrey has a chance to be a good football team like what we saw in their 20-0 shutout against West Stokes, a good football team. But then they gave up 48 points in their win over South Stokes. So which team will we see on Friday night in Pilot Mountain? And just a reminder, as Coach Smith and I discussed earlier, 2-3 North Surrey travels to East Bend to play 0-4 Forbush in another conference opener. Thanks for joining us on the Football Coaches Show this week.